However, another man from the armed forces claims that it is necessary to destroy those filthy creatures. It seems the situation is really serious, and they are willing to sacrifice civilians. At this moment, another man stands up and begins to protest, saying that we are truly doomed. His name is Itsuyuda, and he wants to make it clear that none of those present know who they are dealing with. Leader Matsumoto Kao gets irritated with this guy's slowness. At that moment, Mr. Yuta proposes the idea of creating a super squad to defend the Earth. Staring firmly at the other participants, the older man says it's not a bad idea, but he doesn't know how to recruit those people. In fact, people are very terrified of the abyssal monsters, and it's time to look for a path to peace. Everyone agrees with the statement about world peace. Far from there, our hero already knows very well that the government will try to implement a super squad. But Taketo, with all his lucidity, wonders how they are going to enlist. Looking firmly at his friend, Chang Ting states that they will have to fight to prove their worth. It seems that in the book, the protagonist ended up losing his freedom and the chance to join the team. However, at this moment, it is not the time to put his freedom at risk. It is necessary to help save the world. But the young friend still wonders how they will be able to do that. At this first moment, the young man will need to find some kind of job to support himself in the coming weeks. But Yuna's own friend cannot understand because that would be his job. It's time to face Chang Ting's drunk uncle. After hearing that, the young man is already preparing for what he is about to face. Stating that his friend is getting angrier and angrier, Taketo tries to remind him that they are heroes, not villains. It seems our protagonist knows that very well, but he is willing to take revenge and be brave in his own way. The fools are completely terrified that when they manage to get the house, this abyssal attack happens. And it seems the cousin suspects that the young man knew very well what he was doing. Even with the world ending, that drunkard only cares about enjoying the moment. A noise arises without them noticing. At that moment, the uncle already realizes what's happening, and it's clearly the bastard nephew. Before he can scream for help, he sees his son splatter against the wall. Yes, he has just been brutally attacked. It happened so quickly that he didn't even have time to think when he saw the nephew in front of him. Without moving a muscle, Chang Ting states that he will be next. Realizing that the boy has just committed a crime, the uncle threatens him, saying that he's a murderer, and the young man replies that he knows that very well. Desperate and begging for his life, that filthy uncle starts appealing to family ties. However, it seems the young man doesn't care about any of those disgusting excuses. With all the hatred in the world, the young man yells at his uncle, saying he is the one responsible for all the bad things that happened to him. Getting closer and closer to the uncle, Ting is ready to commit his greatest revenge of all time. Begging for mercy, uncle asks the nephew to stop and forget everything that happened. Drawing his sword, the young man is prepared to put an end to it all once and for all. But before he finishes the matter, his uncle screams, saying he knows who killed Mi-san. That hits the young man like a punch to the face. He wasn't expecting that information. Afraid the nephew didn't hear, the uncle makes it clear that he knows who killed the boy's mother. Growing even more furious, the boy's eyes spark as he demands to know once and for all who was responsible. Begging for mercy, he claims it was the nephew of some Chief Katu, who was driving drunk and hit his mother. Desperate for more answers, the young man asks how that bastard knew this. One time, while they were drinking together, the chief confessed it to him in secret. At that moment, he realizes why the police never investigated his mother's death. Now that he has confessed everything, he begs for mercy not to be killed. As the uncle was about to leave, he thanks the nephew. However, it seems it was already too late, and he feels something strange happen. In a terrible manner, Chang Ting's sword ends up piercing his chest. It seems the strike is precise and fatal. Celebrating his deed, the young man carefully analyzes his equipment and seems very proud of what he has just done. However, at that exact moment, his friend shows up at his house and is surprised by what he sees. In his defense, the young man states that soon many people will die anyway. Now they need to prepare for the next 2 weeks. Putting their backpacks on, they seem ready for a new journey. Looking at each other, they trust that they are ready for this new challenge. Greeting each other, they confirm that it is time to fight. Soon, 2 weeks pass, and Mayo and Sakura-sama are talking in the car. The apocalypse is coming, and they continue discussing the next steps. Sama seems a bit uncomfortable with all of this. Looking firmly at the road, they seem to have seen something